Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Peachtree Morning Show. And today is Friday, March 20th. And so, welcome back. And this is the owner of the Peachtree Cafe, and Stanley and us. Alison. So today we are very happy because we got a very important question from United Kingdom, Anna. And let's play it first.
Good morning. My name is Anna and I'm contacting you from the United Kingdom. I have two questions for you today, both of them related to depression. There are a lot of people in my surroundings that are suffering from depression, either mild cases or serious cases with medication. So my questions are, what should I plan to stop seeing depressed people in my life? And secondly, what I can tell them to do and how to apply the 4 steps in order to cure themselves from depression. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Anna, for this great question. And as we know that Anna is a graduate of our Sedona College of International Management, and
good businesswoman.
good businesswoman. Yeah. And so her question has two parts. First part is that how can we stop seeing depressing people in our life, in our world? And the second part is that how can we suggest the people, our friends who have depression, how can we help them? So I would like to ask you, what do you think about this?
Do you have an idea?
First of all, I want to say, because I also know many people who are depressed. The first thing I want to say is it's not a shameful thing to admit that you are depressed or you have some depressed issue, because everyone, in a way, have some kind of depression problem. It just depends on how serious you are. But every one of us who have bad days, you can call it a bad day or you can call it a depressed day. So I think it's a really good and universal problem to talk about. And thank you for asking this question.
Yeah, it's the first time we had this question, which is so important.
The reason we chose this question to discuss is also because this question can help many people in the world. Yeah. And what do you think that what's the cause or what's the seed for depression?
I have an opinion because many people come to me. Partly my occupation is to help people.
Right.
And so, of course, over the last 20, 30 years, many people came to me with depression. And they asked me, what can I do about it? And I have to say, it's hard for me to help people with depression because I don't have it. I haven't, in my life, I've been lucky that I haven't had it. So it's hard for me to really understand it. They say if you're alcoholic, then go get help from a person who used to be an alcoholic. But I haven't had this problem. But I can say, by having talked to many people came to me for help. And I lived with my teacher for 30 years. And many depressed people came to him. So sometimes I had to translate. And so for many years, I would listen to what he has to say about it. And for me, my impression is that when we are very depressed, we tend to be much more self-centered. We are only focusing on ourselves. And you can't go to a depressed person and say, stop worrying so much about yourself, just try to help somebody else. Because it's the last thing you can do. They are obsessed. It's an obsession with how I feel and what I'm thinking. So my feeling is try to break that person out of focusing on themselves and try to find a way to get them to focus on anyone else's problems. So what's a good way to do that? What do you guys think? How to break... We say, in English, we say, shake somebody out of it. You gotta think about other people a little bit,
I think because there are different stages of depression, right? And if they are already very serious condition, then maybe it is more difficult. But if they are not...
And they should see a doctor if
they need to use medication or search for professional help.
Yeah.
But if not that serious yet, maybe we can try to use some skillful ways, skillful means.
Upaya.
Upaya, right?
What is upaya? Sounds like papaya.
Upaya. I mean, skillful ways, skillful means.
In Sanskrit, yeah.
Yeah, to help them. For example, you can drag them to do something for the community or for your friends to serve other people. It may be difficult to let them do it themselves, but if you can skillfully ask them to go out, do something, even small things, little things for other people, it may start to switch to change the whole situation.
Yeah, like it would be. I'm thinking of someone I know who has a bad depression, and I told them make a meal for somebody else. Cook something for somebody else, and they couldn't do it. They kept thinking about themselves, and they couldn't do it. Then I said, come to my house for dinner. I'm going to make dinner for you. And when they got there, I invited some other people for dinner. And I said, oh, look, there's many other people here. You have to help me cook for them. And then they will help. And
You trick
that's
them.
called a trick. Upaya means to trick someone
In a good way.
in a good way, to think about other people. So, and that's we had a very pleasant time. We had a very pleasant experience because for the whole evening, they helped me cook for other people, and it kind of took them out of their depression for a while. So I think tricking people to think about other people. So then it just becomes helping other people not to be depressed becomes the pleasant meditation of thinking up tricks to help them to help other people. Can you think of any other tricks? I don't know.
I know sometimes a way to trick people is to pretend that you have some need.
Very smart.
You tell them, I had a really bad day. Like, for example, someone who had a bad day, they just fight. I just did it a few days ago. They just had a big fight with their partner. So the moment I saw a friend, he's like totally dark and not happy. So then the first thing I told him that day is, I had a bad night. Then he asked me what happened. Oh, we had some fight. So then we started to talk about it. Then slowly, it seems like he become better because he started to think about how he can help me, and he started to think about other people. So yeah,
that's a famous upaya for anger.
No.
So if you know someone who's angry, a famous ancient upaya is to go to them and say, I have a problem with anger, and I was hoping that you could help me, if you could give me some help. And what doesn't work is to go to them and say, you're the most angry person I know.
what?
So I thought I will help you. And to ask help from the people who need help is another way to get them to break out of their depression. That's a great way. If you say, I'm depressed, and can you give me any suggestions? And then they start to plant the seeds to break out of their depression, right? What about the second part of that question?
I think we talk about the second. We already covered the second part of the question. How can we help our friends or people who have depression?
I'm talking about what if I see people around me? What if I found in the last few years I have more depressed people in my life than I used to have? Then why is that?
I think now we are talking about the first part of Anna's question. It's about how can I stop seeing depressed people in my life. And Geshe, Michael mentioned that if I see more and more depressed people in my life, what's happening? I think that just like the pen, we say that it is coming from me, right? And then if I see depressed people in my life, that means that if I don't have the depression myself, I don't have depression myself, but I still see depressed people in my life, that means I have small seeds in my life. I have small seeds, and then so that I see depressed people in my life. But just now it seems that we are talking about that the seeds for depression is being self-centered and being kind of like selfish, not caring much about other people's needs. So, which means that maybe I have a small selfishness in me, and that planted the seeds, so that I start to see depressed people in my life. And if I see more and more depressed people, that means that I'm becoming more and more selfish.
But tiny.
But very tiny way.
Seeds.
Very tiny. Maybe ignoring other people if they get thirsty, but I don't serve the tea for them. I just focus on myself.
Or I eat all the blueberries myself.
Yeah, maybe just tiny thing, because we know that according to the laws of the seeds, the second laws of seeds, the small seed would grow exponentially. Yeah. What do you think?
I was thinking that Geshe-la had a great teaching. He sometimes said people around you are mirrors of yourself. So, but there are two different ways to treat people around you. First, of course, when you see many depressed people, for example, one way is to kind of avoid them. Like, it's not fun to really hang out with depressed people. It feels like
they are the most unfun thing.
Yeah, they drag you down, and you kind of like you want to pull a stubborn cow, but they keep being there. They don't move at all. So that's one way to deal with it. Sometimes we might have to do it to create some space for ourselves to center. But another way that I really like is the peacock warrior attitude.
I like that.
Nice.
Like what?
So that means that's from one ancient book that we are translating. That means that the warrior don't avoid poisonous plants. Not only they don't avoid them, they eat them.
Look for it.
And they look for them, they eat them, and they turn into their beautiful color on their feather. That means this kind of warrior attitude is you go to those people, you look for depressed people, and then you use it as a great chance for you to become a more passionate people by helping them more and more. So I think that's a great way to see this thing. It might not be a problem for us to have many depressed people around us. It might be a good chance for us to practice how to help people better, how to have more love and things like that.
What coffee meditation would you do at night if you've been working on this problem? What would be...
You mean helping others who have depression?
Talk about coffee meditation about depression.
Okay.
About depression?
On the subject of depression,
General.
what would be a good coffee meditation to do? And what would it look like? What would it sound like? Today
I think I will focus. Firstly, I will focus on my seeds planting actions, or my anything related to seed planting, or my care to others, to all the good things I do to support, to help others, and when I focus on other people, to care about other people's needs, even just a thought.
Nice.
I think I will focus on them and do coffee meditation to water those seeds.
I'm thinking very small things. Like you could say, I poured the tea today during the Peachtree morning show because I wanted to fight depression.
Yeah.
Cool. One thing I have is, you taught us a sentence called "butter makes everything better."
Yeah.
Tasty.
Yansa.
Yeah.
Famous Chinese.
So I got a butter for the bread, which is, I think sometimes it's good to do some gratitude thing. You can add it to your coffee meditation, because thinking about how other people helped you and be grateful about it is actually kind of the opposite feeling of feeling
and
depressed.
I have to say, depressed people are self-centered, and they never have gratitude.
Yeah, it feels like that.
It's two symptoms of depression almost.
Yeah.
So let's summarize. So it means that we can focus on the seeds for like being selfishness, how we serve and care other people.
Little things, right?
Little.
And dedicate it at night.
Yeah.
Like send it to our depressed friends. Yeah.
And maybe about gratitude, maybe we can have a journal, little journal,
Yeah,
and
gratitude
then you
journal.
can carry with you, and then you can write down the names of the people who gave you support or help before. In this way, we can do some gratitude meditation.
Yeah.
To fight those two things,
Yeah.
self-centeredness and lack of gratitude.
Lack of
not showing
gratitude.
gratitude.
And it's gonna be a long-term fight. It's not gonna
Yeah.
end in one night.
No, depression seems to be chronic.
Yeah.
It seems to stay with you.
Yeah.
And another point that I would like to add is that because Anna asked about how can we help with our friends who have depression, but if at the beginning maybe we can use some skillful ways to help them, but if they are open enough when they don't have depression, when they are in a good mood,
Or not that depressed.
or not that depressed, if they are open to the idea of seat or footsteps,
Yeah.
I think it will be very good if we can share with them the idea of footstep or seats, because by the nature of footsteps, by the nature of planting seeds, just like when we play basketball, we need a floor to play the basketball. Then to do footsteps, we need another person for it to work. So in order to do footstep, automatically we need to switch our focus to
Out of
some
ourselves.
other, out of
Right.
ourselves to some other people,
Yeah.
and look for someone who have the same or similar needs. That means that it will force us to think about, what's the needs of Geshe Michael? What's the needs of Stanley? And I think you'll be, by using the fourth step itself, is a very powerful antidote for depression. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Me too. That sounds good.
Wow.
Let's use more footsteps then.
You have a question for next time?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Maybe we can talk about this first.
And thank you all for watching
Closing.
Peachtree Morning Show. And if you have more questions from your friends, please send to seedquestions@diamondcutterinstitute.com. By sending the questions, you are also planting the seeds to help many people.
Yeah.
All right. Questions for next week, Monday.
Yay!
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Anna, and I'm
Sorry.
That's the same depressing question.
Question tend to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the question for Monday.
Hi, my name is Livia. I'm from Bucharest, Romania. You said in a previous episode that in order to have a great life, we need to do big 4 steps, and that means to think big, to dream big, to plan big. But we've learned so far that everything is coming from seed, right? Including dreaming, thinking, planning. And my question is, what seed I need to plant to think big, to dream big, and to plan big in order to have a great life? Thank you very much.
That's a big question.
Yeah, and our guests for Monday are going to be a special couple, Seiji Arao Takahashi, who's a very incredible member of the staff at the Sedona College of International Management, Japanese, Mexico mixed together. And then Noor Ibrahim from Syria, Damascus. And I think it's going to be very exciting to have she used to work for the United Nations. So I think to have these two very intelligent, multinational people answer this question is going to be great for Monday. So see you then.
See
And thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yay.